All right, everybody, welcome back. Fresh edition of the Fresh Takes podcast with Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo.
I see what you did there. Fresh edition. Oh,
that's
cool.
true. Well, it's been a couple weeks since we've been on, so that's why I said it. Across from me, as always, man, myth, legend himself, Nicj Felice. Nick, how you doing?
Doing good, Paul. This is episode number 98 of the Fresh Takes podcast with Russo and Felice. It is cold in here once again, but next Monday, Paul, looking like it's going to be the start of 50-degree weather. Are you believing it?
You're way too more optimistic on this than I am.
Are you believing it? Start of 50 degrees.
I don't like. It's not like I don't believe it. I've seen the forecast, but we always begin that one mid-March storm. I'm not, I know it's coming still. I'm not getting too hyped.
Just got to get to April.
Yeah, get to April, and then, talk to me once we get through April. I remember many years ago, we're talking at least 12, I think, at this point. Actually, no, probably 11. Yeah, 11. Certain summer league game that we both participated in the middle of May, in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah,
so
it can snow then, but it's usually gone by the end of the day.
Nick, this was a blizzard. We were playing in a blizzard.
Yeah, but then it usually melts by the end of the day. But
it was 2 in the afternoon.
But that was in the past, Paul. This is now.
That's right. Global warming is more of a thing.
We're going to go to one of our favorite brewery spots on the Finger Lakes. It's going to be 60 degrees.
I hope.
By next weekend.
I hope I make it to that point.
It's going to be a great time when it does come.
Speaking of when it does come, let's look at our topics today. We only really have one.
But they're a little lazy on the typing.
Look, it's been a long day.
At least you put up the date again. That's pretty cool.
But this is an all basketball episode where we'll talk some NBA, some college hoops, some local high school hoops as they wrap up their seasons. Nick's been in the gym. He's like literally the only person that I know of, for the most part, that has physically been inside gymnasiums.
Yeah,
the past give or take month, whatever you want to call it.
It's normal to me. But you a big modified ref. Don't let me think I'm the only one in the gym.
Well, that's not quite what I'm. Nobody really.
You got a vaccination shot because of it, though.
Don't spread that. I snuck in through a loophole. No need to tell the world, Nick. Loose lips sink ships.
You're cured.
No, I still have to take my second one.
But
I mean, Jesus,
the real
Nick.
point of this is that you are a modified ref, so you've been in the gym.
I've done a handful of games. Yeah. Been interesting. No, I haven't had to give anybody a technical or thrown anybody out. Because
I heard you've been calling the travels, though. A little too much.
Because I was the one who told you, and it's only... I haven't been calling them really at all. I only really call the opposite. Look, if you want to call the 7th grade, 7th and 8th grade, here's the thing, right? You're getting better, but... I mean, if you want me to sit there and get really ticky-tack with a lot of these calls, we will literally be there for 10 hours. Hands down.
Are you doing girls or boys?
I've done only boys. I was actually supposed to do a girls game today, but it got postponed.
These are at the rec?
Actually, this would have been my debut up at the middle school.
The big time.
Up at the Baker Gymnasium.
Yeah. I know they let modified get up there, but
well, they're doing it this year because obviously, for those that don't know, most of the schools have a some sort of camera system, whether it's manual or this automated one, to broadcast games over the internet this year, obviously with either no or limited fans. Really, for the most part, parents at that point. Parents or siblings. I know a couple times siblings have been one of the two people able to get in up at Miners Academy events. But anyway, so they're trying to give everybody kind of equal opportunity to get in front of a broader audience normally than what they usually get anyway. Just not physically there, obviously. So I think they do some modified games anyway, though, up there, though. Now anyway, but I could be wrong. Either way, nothing changed at the rec. We still hosted a few, so
Game got postponed anyway, so.
Yeah, it is what it is. You want to know what? We were discussing modified. We were discussing a prominent JV varsity gymnasium. Let's do the high school side of things first. Perfect transition, right? So, as we speak, we are in the last, whatever you want to call it, regular season week of the 4 weeks. However you really want to discuss it, last week of the regular season for Wayne Finger Lakes and the rest of New York State, for that matter, in general. We've alluded to it a couple times when we've talked about it. It's been an interesting year across kind of all fronts. Obviously, it's been a really unique year, and I think it, to a degree, it's helped some teams out. Maybe it's hampered a couple others. For instance, speaking of uniqueness, you have Wayne County. Their league is doing a Wayne County tournament, which is pretty cool. Certainly the first in my lifetime I remember anything happening like this. I could be wrong, born in 1994, but kind of some memory only goes back so far. And Nick, you were at South Seneca yesterday.
Yes.
So, all of two very competitive teams. One admittedly a little bit more so than the other, a little bit of a tradition returning on the girls' side there in a weird way. It's really weird you have to say that about a team when they only had a dip for a year by their standards, and now they're back up on the upswing. But yeah, I'll kind of toss to you because you've been more or less the physical eyes out of us two there. I've been keeping up as best as I can with the Finger Lakes 1 game night with Jim Seneca, which has been really cool, but it's just, at least for me personally, it's not quite the same. It's actually, last year having the ability to go and watch the games and broadcast them and getting really in tune, at least for me personally. It's been a little bit of a struggle just kind of personally for me, because that's kind of the way I get information better for myself.
Yeah. Is
actually visualize, being there and seeing. So, but anyway, what's it been like, for some of these teams you cover? Because, like I said, you certainly have some surprises out there. Dundee Bradford's been really competitive. Didn't know that they combine athletics, at least on the basketball side, until a couple weeks ago. Which
they do a couple sports.
But, and then you have the Palmac boys having a really good year, bounce back after a couple down years. So, yeah, what's been some of the stuff throughout the whole season, and any main talking points, at least for you?
So I did Dundee Bradford at South Seneca girls basketball yesterday. Battle of unbeatens. Mm-hmm. South Seneca is the only one that stays unbeaten after that game. It was high scoring in the first half, low scoring in the second half, but it was a huge run. They had a 10-0. It was 2-0 Dundee Bradford from the get-go. South Seneca had a 10-0 run. After that, really solidified the game from the get-go. Had a huge first half. Played not too many points. I think 29 total points combined in the whole entire second half. So they just cruised to a win in a huge game, big game. Finger Lakes West girls, you don't see too many competitive games at the top of the standings, but South Seneca's steamrolling through that. South Seneca actually, Paul, was they actually played Watkins Glen. You don't really see that. Two different teams.
Yeah, and then the South Seneca boys played at Trumansburg and won on not a true buzzer beater, but a last possession.
You don't really see sections, especially in a pandemic
season. This
season.
Year especially, that caught me off guard. I don't know if that was a makeup of games where it just happened that everybody within a equal distance was able to kind of play each other or what. But
South Seneca was supposed to play at Watkins at 11 a.m. That would have been great for me. I wish I got that game, but they were never going to send me that game. But my buddy Josh, Josh, he lives in Watkins. We could have got through it was 11 a.m. game. We could have got to our Saturday activities after that, but it was a blown opportunity.
Oh my God!
I could have gone, but there was no chance I was ever going to that game. But
he went off the rails.
They won, but what you call boys this week? Honeyoy at Bloomfield. I thought of you when that game went down. I was like, man, I wish we wish we were there, man.
We were there last year. We were there last year for it. That's right.
Yeah, they played this week. Honeyway won again. So
Speaking of Honeyway, the Honeyway girls for not having a team last year doing really well as well.
Yeah, they got a girls team this year. That's good to see. Always good to see. But the tournament's pretty cool in Wayne County. I'll say that. I am going to the finals, I think, on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boys or girls?
Boys.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? They weren't sure yet.
Either way, you're heading to Wayne County.
One of the finals, yeah. On Thursday, I'm going to Geneva boys tomorrow. They're playing. Someone write in. I know I'm going to Geneva boys basketball tomorrow. I don't remember who they're playing though.
Coach Desering.
Yeah, first time
in the Panther Den.
Yeah, first time getting to go to Geneva this year. Watch them play. You know, I was supposed to go to the game in Buff State for the regionals, but never got a chance to go.
Me and Mike Alessio had that last final game there.
Yes, and at Bloomfield,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was in Newark watching the Lions get beat in overtime. Tough loss. But, you know, Lions steamrolling. South Seneca girls steamrolling. Wayne steamrolling. Waterloo girls steamrolling, you know. But there's some good teams in those Eastern leagues, the Finger Lakes East and the boys' side. Like you mentioned, Palmac. You know, Mid Lakes girls are pretty good.
Mid Lakes playing in the West this
Palmac
year, right?
girls are good. What?
Are both Mid Lakes teams
Mid
playing in the
Lakes
West?
boys are in the West.
Okay.
Mid Lakes girls are in the East.
Okay.
Marcus Whitman boys are in the East. Marcus Whitman girls are in the West.
Yeah.
Yep. Haven't really covered any Big Leagues West boys basketball, so I haven't really followed up too much on that. I think last time I checked, Harley, Allendale, Columbia.
HAC, yeah, they're up there. Yeah.
I did go to South Seneca Dundee boys.
Yeah.
And saw a game winner. There was one side left, but it was a game winner, not a buzzer beater, I should say. By Kenya Russ of South Seneca. That was pretty cool. Finally get to some good games. I get a lot of blowout games, and you know they're all right. Not really, but
I mean, naturally, you always want a close game.
Yeah, and I haven't done a lot of Wayne County girls either. You know, Lions is down this year. Yeah, haven't done a lot. Finger Lakes West boys, I would say Wayne County girls, but it's a really short season. It's hard to get a lot in.
Yeah,
for
sure. I think that's why they, the season tough anyway too, right? Is obviously it's weird talking about high school sports in this realm, right? Like, well, is Palmac boys going to be able to sustain it next year? It's like, it's not like freaking Steph Curry's playing for the Red Raiders, right? Mm-hmm. So,
and I went to the Blue Cross Red.
Wait, what?
This weekend a year ago.
Oh, I was about to say, wait a second here.
Yeah, no, but it was this weekend a year ago was the sectional finals. This was sectional week. Mm-hmm. This is the semifinal week, I should say, and then the final week. So next week's COVID week, the pandemic week. Oof.
Thanks for reminding us all.
Oh, the 1-year anniversary.
Anyway. But yeah, I mean, sectionals with it being closed off this closed style this year, only the top 8 teams are going to make it. That means a lot of split boards. Teams that initially probably thought of at the beginning of the year missing it, especially in my mind on the boys' side. I have Waterloo and Newark especially really down. I think Mid Lakes too, to a degree as well. I don't think we're expecting them to be missing sectional play by any means. So interesting stuff all around. Really interesting stuff. Any final thoughts on the Wayne Finger Lakes?
I'll just say I know I'm a sports writer. I know I'm supposed to be a fan of all the sports, but I love going to basketball. My favorite, and it's kind of sad that
we're basketball people.
I haven't done baseball yet, so we'll see how. I am a big baseball guy. We'll see how I like sitting out in the sun, getting a tan, writing a little. But
if it was back in the day, you had a cigar in your
right
mouth.
Now, out of all I've done, basketball is still my favorite. It's just a little sad that it's coming to an end, but hopefully next season we get a normal season in. Be back in November.
Be back in arenas.
What's that?
Be back in arenas / gyms.
Yeah.
Let's just go right up the ladder then. Let's go to college hoops now.
Baylor survived tonight.
That's what I was going to get at, though, because we're finally seeing their weaknesses, which is something that I've thought about for a while. So let's start there, obviously. West Virginia takes them to overtime. Well, that was a ranked matchup, though. But
2 great matchups tonight.
But they got taken to overtime over the weekend by a fairly weak Kansas State team.
Mm-hmm.
And Iowa State gave a run for their money, a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. They've had a lot of close calls.
It's like what I kind of said at the beginning of the year. I can't trust the Big 12. I just can't.
I think to a degree, I can't trust the Big 12, but I can trust Kansas.
I can't trust Kansas at all.
Kansas has gone to multiple Final Fours since I've been watching. They're the one team in the Big 12 that I trust. I know Oklahoma's been to a Final Four. I know somebody else has been to a Final Four.
Michigan. Syracuse. Dude.
Texas Tech went to the championship game just a couple years ago.
Oh, you're talking in the Big 12.
Actually, the last championship game was Texas Tech.
Yeah.
But the only one to ever win a national title has been Kansas. Since I don't know who. What's crazy about the Big Ten? They haven't won since 2000. Michigan State. Maryland, who's in the Big Ten now, has won a national title in that span, but they weren't. They were in the ACC at the time. And then, of course, you look at the SEC. It's kind of the same thing as the Big 12. You can't really trust anyone besides Kentucky on certain years. Maybe not this year, but you've seen Auburn go to the Final Four. They don't win it. Then the Pac-12, you can't trust anybody. They had Oregon make the Final Four that one year. I don't know. It's kind of. Yeah, I was high on Baylor, but now, these last few games, definitely makes me concerned, and I think they're just going to be they're a great team, but I think they're going to be just like another Big 12 team that's going to get upset in the tournament. I don't think they have what it takes to put 6 games in a row together to win a national championship. Not a lot of teams do. It's hard to do. That's why you've only seen certain teams do it. Syracuse, they've had some good teams.
I'm convinced that's going to be the last Syracuse team I've ever seen win a championship.
2003?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've accepted defeat.
Even the 2016 team, you didn't expect to go to the Final Four. They still didn't win. They still came 2 games short of the championship. It's difference to making a Final Four run. Obviously, you want to go to the Final Four. That's the goal. That's almost like winning it all. So the Final Four. Obviously that, especially as a Notre Dame fan, losing the Elite Eight twice, the game sucks to lose there 2 years in a row.
Time to get Bree out of there, or whatever his name is.
No, whoa.
Bray.
Great coach. Just need to get some more better players.
He looks like the rogue mafia guy who just can't quite seem to understand that it's the concrete business, not the garbage business.
Whoa. Some shots fired. They did blow that game against Syracuse, though. Syracuse, right now, they're just a bubble team outside the bubble talk.
Okay. Do you mind if I have the moment here?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been saying this now, at least on this avenue of communications, the podcast.
You want to go to the
for the better part of 2 years. I've been quiet about it this year, admittedly. But that's only because more voices have started to get louder. Jim, it's time to just let it go. Jimmy, please. Hang it up. It's time. It's just time.
He's talking about Jim Boeheim, not Jim Seneca.
That's true, Jim Boeheim. Jim, it's not time for you to hang it up just yet. Unless you just have fundamentally too big of a thing for the 2-3 zone. But it's just time. The game the game doesn't allow for you anymore to have the 2-3 be as effective, right? It doesn't allow you to only use 2 or 3 guys on the bench. You need to go 10 deep, right? The teams that are good, like a Gonzaga. I noticed this the other day, and we'll talk about them in a quick second. Arkansas, for instance. They go 9-10 deep most nights. And that's not in the blowout situations. Like, they're going 9-10 deep because they're, well, it's not like they're good enough to go 9-10 deep, right? Like, they're going 9-10 deep because that's the way the game is played. It's played at such a quick pace. It's played at such an up-tempo pace now for the most part that you can't just bring Dolezaj out for 2 minutes and expect him to get back out there and be fine. And you're only using the same 2 guys to cycle in and out. I mean, then there's just a lot of tactician stuff, I think, in game-wise that it's just time. And I don't think it's just Boeheim anymore for the most part either. You know, I'm not talking at this point just Syracuse. I think there are a couple other coaches, you know, like a Coach K. I think Coach K is a little not as far down the road as Boeheim, but over the past couple of years, you know, things at Duke have kind of been a bit different, right? They aren't making as deep of runs, you know.
Another thing that hurts the zone too is 3-pointers are becoming
even
huger.
That's the key thing, right? The purpose of the 2-3 zone
to make you shoot
was to push outside, right? Back when shooting wasn't as sharp, to put it bluntly, right? Back when, you know, your highest 3-point guy percentage was shooting like 22%, right? That's the purpose of the 2-3 zone, is stuff like that. But teams are, not even teams, right? Players are so good now, right? The game is being played further and further away from the basket that, like, if you're going to run a 2-3 zone, you might as well just flip-flop it and run a 3-2. In essence, you know, you have more guys outside on the perimeter, in theory, to go and guard. You know, I think for the most part, the Syracuse team is athletic enough to go, not obviously full court all the time, but they're athletic enough to just play man-to-man. I mean, I don't know. I've been saying it now for a couple of years, and I mean, if there's not a plan in place at Syracuse, there needs to be a plan. And I know a lot of people want McNamara to be the successor. I don't know if that's a good option. Not a knock on Jerry. I just think we should get somebody in here who's...
What's the future of Mike Hopkins, too?
Well, that's the thing. The one exception in my mind to do it that way would be Hop. Just throw the Brinks truck at him and bring him back.
I know it's
home.
been a rough couple of years for him, but he did have a good first year with Washington.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Anyway.
Well, get used to it, Syracuse fans. You might be playing that noon game once again. As I think right now they're lined up 8-9 seed in the ACC tournament.
Oh, God. That's what you're talking about. I'm like, what? Let's move on, though. I want to discuss Arkansas because we do get to the ACC at the end a little bit here that I want to discuss. So the SEC, I think, is a little bit of a slept-on conference overall, maybe a little bit. Now, I don't think Alabama or Arkansas really could have a shot at winning the title straight up. But I'll be damned if there is a team that I don't want to play right now that's Arkansas. I want no part of them if I have to face them, especially in these one-game scenarios in the tournament style. You know, my guess is just because the way they're doing the seeding this year, I'm guessing they'll be probably somewhere in that 7th seed to 8th seed range, which normally is a 2 seed. But because of the way they're doing the seeding styles this year, they'll be like 8 or whatever. I wouldn't want to face them. I just wouldn't. Like, that team is scary good. Like, they get out and run, and they do not care. I was watching the Alabama game on Saturday, and they do not care if they got to get dirty. They don't mind playing dirty, and they'll smile at you while they're doing it.
They beat Alabama?
Yeah. And that was a chippy game by the end of it, and they don't care to play dirty, and they'll smile at you doing it. And by the way, they will run away from you faster than you doing it because they are quick. The Razorback team is good. What a weird time for Razorback athletics. They're the number 1 team in college baseball, by the way. Anyway, Nick, I know because, you know, they've come on the scene, so they haven't had too many night games when we're usually watching together sometimes. But like that Alabama game, for instance, you saw if you saw even the highlights of it, you saw the same things as me, more than likely, at least in our eyes, right? Like they're just a team you don't want to play right now just because of how hot they are and how good they are.
Yeah, Paul, I see you doing a little bit of late bracket research. I know you're trying to make a little bit of a comeback. You struggled with your bracket a couple years ago, checking out all the games. I see you trying to make a push, trying to get your knowledge up.
That was a rough year a couple of years ago, yeah. A lot of faith in the Big East.
We'll print out that bracket and we'll hang it up.
A lot of faith in the Big East. Didn't pan out.
Hey, you might have faith in the Big East here. There's some good teams that got out of that conference this year.
That's true.
But, it's gonna be a good I still think it's gonna be a good tournament just because it's been so long since we've seen a tournament. People are just gonna be all excited about it. When those playing games go up, ooh, a big fan. Conference tournaments have already started this week. So
it's true.
Atlantic 10. If anybody cares, first round tomorrow.
I care. Hey, St. Bonaventure, the best college basketball team in New York State, baby.
Yeah, you gotta watch what you say there. You're a big Syracuse guy.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a St. Bonaventure Bonnie's Stan account. I don't know a single player on that team, but go Bonas.
Yeah, I'm just really looking forward.
Woj went to Bonaventure. I know that.
Yeah, just really looking forward to it. I think since growing up, it always seemed like, even when they were in the Big East, Syracuse always seemed to play that noon game, and it used to always be on during school. And shout out to the teachers that would let us watch those games.
That's true. Big shout out to Mr. Major.
Yeah, and Bruni used to put it on too. Yeah, that's right.
Real recognize real.
Yeah, it's good times.
Mr. Perrine did too, I remember. Shout out Mr. Perrine.
Yeah, shout outs all around to those teachers who skip school for that.
There's a trend here. It was only in middle school, really.
Yeah, come on, high school, step up. Do they still have those TVs? They stroll around like the cart?
Oh, you mean the ones with the VCR on them? Probably not.
What do they use? They just use
They probably got TVs in the room, or the smart boards, or the projectors. What's the thing Miss Purwitz used to use? Yeah, the projector.
No, it was called a. It's called a.
You keep talking about basketball. I'll look it up.
Oh man, it's called.
I think it's literally just called a projector.
No, it's got it's hover or something. It's the overhead.
Oh, that's right, the overhead.
Yes. Overheads and smart boards. That was what we went through.
I have it on good authority per sources that there are no TVs anymore. No TVs.
Really?
Yep.
VHS. No.
They use their smart boards.
Teachers aren't.
Per sources.
Wait, smart boards? They still have those?
Yes.
They got to be really high tech now. They ain't glitching anymore.
I have a hard time believing they are, but.
Yeah, so you mean people aren't borrowing the TV anymore? It's not rolling down the hallway. Man, good times. Yeah. That's what we used to watch the Syracuse game on. People would bring that in the room for the day, and even though Mr. Major, by the time I got this, he would have the smart board going on it with the stream. But
I think I was TV still.
Anyway, the whole point of this is Syracuse used to play at noon a lot, so we used to watch Syracuse instead of...
Story of our life. Anyway.
Good times, but they might be playing the noon game once again this year on day 2 of the ACC tournament. Unless they move up,
Speaking of the ACC, what's your interpretation of just how bad the conference is this year?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's sad because it's just a few years ago where it was the best. Like, it was loaded from top to bottom. Kind of surprising. I think seeing Buzz Williams go over to the SEC kind of hurt the conference a little bit.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Buzz Williams, he's one of the bigger coaches, he's a big name. He left the conference. That hurt us. I heard Virginia Tech. Who's the coach now? Michael Young or something like that? That hurt the conference a little bit.
What?
I thought it hurt the conference. I'm sorry. I think when Buzz Williams left the conference,
when I think Buzz Williams, I think Marquette.
he turned around that Virginia Tech program. They were terrible when we came in.
They still are.
When I say we, Notre Dame and Syracuse came in at the same time. In 2013, what was it? No, yeah, 2013, 2014 was our first year. That was the last time Syracuse was legit regular season.
Pretty much.
Because the year before, they went to the Final Four.
We had Iceman Tyler Ennis.
Yeah, that was a good team. And Ennis hit the shot against Pittsburgh the next year. And then Syracuse was not in postseason the year after that. And it's just been mediocrity since, 8-10s, 9-9s. Now they play 20 games. It's just been, a little mediocrity Friday. The Orange, they made a run in 2016.
I have a hot take about the Syracuse Athletics.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
Well, no, I want you to finish up the ACC or whatever.
Yeah, it's bad. It sucks because we were so good. I mean, when Duke, I don't hate them as much because I'm not. I haven't been an ACC fan for that long. But Duke, North Carolina, and Virginia, it's good when they're the best teams. And it's good to see teams like, another coach that left. Jamie Dixon, Pittsburgh. That was another coach that hurt the ACC. Another coach.
Yeah, but Cable's there.
I'm pretty sure Rick Pitino was there at the start. Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever he does behind the scenes is great, but he's a hell of a coach. Just big names leaving the conference. Jamie Dixon, though, he was the zone stopper. But, like I'm saying is, you got the Dukes, the Virginias, the Duke, Virginia, North Carolinas. They're the top of the class, and you get the teams like, the Notre Dames, the Syracuses, the Pittsburghs, the Louisvilles. Those teams coming up, along with the Virginia Techs, were good. One time Boston College was good. They had a couple NBA players. Blank on the other guy's name, but Bowman, one of them. It's terrible. It's just sad to see, and I'm just not going to win a championship this year. But I hope it's looking up. When things get normal, because these last 2 years that they've been bad, and the Big Ten's been good, has been weird years. It was a weird ending to last year, didn't finish. This year has been a weird year all around. So when things get back to normal, hopefully we'll be good again.
All right. So, hot take. As I inadvertently did that, so I have to go to this. There we go. Syracuse needs to leave the ACC. Go to the American. We fit very well with the American.
Ooh. What is that, Big East?
Big East doesn't have football.
Yeah, that's true.
We could do a UConn, but that means we have to go independent for football, which is not going to work.
It's always about football.
Which means, look, I know we aren't going to leave the ACC because of that, but I'm just saying. We need to join the American. We'd fit so well there. I don't think anything would change anyway for the most part, but we would fit so much better there. So much better.
Yeah.
Either that or join the A10, because I love the A10.
Recruiting's already hurt.
It's true.
Boeheim lately, man, if he goes to the American, though, recruiting's going to go even way downhill. Yeah. But, yeah, they'll put together a great resume for the tournament they'll be in. But, I don't know.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it necessarily does. I don't think it necessarily hurts recruiting as much as you think. But
the American, though, the American would hurt them. If they went to the Big East, no, not really. They've really,
dude. I don't think kids care as much anymore, man. I don't think they really do. Overall, anyway.
Yeah, I get that. But American, though, the American is such a boring conference. But it's got some good teams.
I mean, that's where what's-his-face went for 3 games. Wiseman.
Yeah.
Was Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis. Houston's got a good program there.
Since he's always tough, former old school Big East.
This year, but they're always tough.
It's
Cumberbatch, great player.
Nick, I'm going to leave the camera on you because we're going to NBA talk.
Yes.
And the first thing I want
is the 18 and 17 Knicks.
That's right. Knicks tape time, baby. The Knicks are above 500.
Not only they're above 500, they're the 4th seed all alone in
They're
the Eastern
hosting a
Conference
playoff series.
Yes. I
MSG.
absolutely love the new playoff format for the NBA this year. It's always good. I don't love the idea of 10 teams making the playoffs. I think that's way too many. But I love the idea that it keeps teams playing games for something in the worst parts of the regular season. Now you're trying to get a top 4 seed, which is a home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. That's your goal, top 4. Then you're trying to get a 5 or 6 seed, which allows you to not be a part of the whatever that play-in tournament is. I know what it is, but it's crazy. So your goal first is to get home court, top 4. Then you're trying to get 5 or 6. Then you're trying to get 7 or 8, which if you're 7 or 8, that means you have to win 1 time in 2 games with the 9 and the 10 in the mix. So then you're trying to get 7, 8. And then there's 9 and 10 because 11 through 15, which is outside the screen here, is outside the playoffs and really terrible teams. And yes, that 10 seed is probably going to be the 8-game under 500 Orlando Magic. But that's what's cool. So you're playing for 4, then you're playing for 6, then you're playing for 8, then you're playing for 10 because 11 through 15 is in the lottery. The 2 losers out of that play-in tournament will also go in the lottery. Now the Knicks, which is so great of the Eastern Conference, that they are in that top 4 right now. The goal is to get the top 6. We don't want to be part of the play-in tournament, and we certainly don't want to be left out of the conversation. Right now we have 3.5 game lead of the 11 seed Hawks, which keeps us in this playoff format, in this playoff whatever.
Nick, I'm not going to lie. This is not the Nick discussion I thought you were going to be having.
Oh, it's great. You can't get your high hopes up high.
You might be the only Nick fan I've ever heard that say come out of their mouth.
Well, it's great. Quickly is a great, up for Rookie of the Year this year. He's an awesome player. I think he's a future superstar in the league. Here, you want me to get going, Paul?
There we go.
Julius Randle. He should be in the MVP conversation right now. Tom Thibodeau should already have gotten the Coach of the Year award last week. R.J. Barrett is starting to become way better than Zion Williamson ever will be. And some of these pickups, Nerlens Noel, awesome pickup. Mitchell Robinson, when he gets back, makes our whole team better. We got the best bench in the league. We got Derrick Rose. We got Emmanuel Quickley. Best bench in the league. We got the best coaching staff in the league. Johnny Bryant, up-and-coming head coach in the NBA. We got him from Utah. We got Kenny Payne over from Kentucky. He's dealt with all these Kentucky players like Randall, like Noel, like Derrick Rose, who's part of Calipari tree. Not Kentucky, but Calipari.
Like Quickly.
Yep, like Quickly. There's someone else, Kevin Knox. These are all Kentucky guys. Great guy. And then, of course, the biggest reason why we're winning at all is the addition of Mike Woodson, who was our head coach the last time we made the playoffs. So the best coaching staff in the league, you got the best bench in the league, you got the best defense in the league, you got the best head coach in the league, you got the best player in the league, you got the best rookie in the league, you got the best fan base in the league, you got the best stadium in the league, you got the best owner in the league. Okay, I'm going too far.
You definitely went too far.
The New York Knicks are back, and we're going to be in the top 4. We're not thinking top 4. Yeah, there's this whole playoff, whatever. We're not thinking top 4. We're thinking...
You're thinking Larry O'Brien.
We're thinking we're going to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
We're going to sweep the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. They're going to drop to the 8th seed. No, I'm just kidding. But this is the best Knicks team we've had since my senior year of college. Senior year of high school.
Jesus, man.
Senior of high school. This team's great. It's a great team. Above over 500. Congrats to Julius Randle. Julius Randle going to be in the skills competition. Obi Toppin in the dunk contest. Good luck to those guys.
Julius Randle, an all-star.
We got the Detroit Pistons second-round pick, so hopefully they win the lottery, give us a 31st overall pick. Hopefully the Mavericks missed the playoffs. We got their first-round pick. We don't even need to miss the playoffs. We're going to get picks anyway. Things are looking up. Tom Thibodeau, thank you for coming to New York. Yes, you overplay some guys. Yes, you're thinking about winning right now. You don't play a lot of the younger players like Frank, who's actually getting the start today because Rose is out. Peyton's been out. Peyton's been good.
What about Alex Burks?
Like a guy like Kevin Knox not getting a lot of playing time. But Frank and Kevin Knox, love them. But they're the old Knicks. They're the old Knick picks. We got the Quickleys now. Quickly's going to be an MVP someday. You heard it from me first. Love the Knicks. And any Net fan, like your brother, love your brother. The Nets will never be New York's team. They will never be New York's team. Kevin Durant can be the star of the Nets all he wants, but the city, 70% of the city, 80% of the city will not care about it.
That's right, because New York's team is St. Bonaventure.
No, but I'm happy, Paul. I mean, they shouldn't be playing this AllStar game, but it's happening
Absolutely
anyway.
not, dude.
It's happening anyway. Well, hopefully everything works out.
Of course, in Atlanta, because everybody wants those lemon pepper wings.
But Paul, I don't know. Are you excited? You were actually higher on Julius Randle and the Knicks before me.
That's right. I said that they would surprise. I didn't anticipate this big of a surprise, but
their over-under was 22 wins, and they're going for 19 tonight against the Spurs.
Still time to hit the under.
I don't know if we could get 22 anymore,
but yeah. Pleasantly surprised with the Knicks. Speaking of Knicks and snubbings and whatever, the All-Star game, like you mentioned, I don't know why we're playing this game. The dunk contest is during halftime of the All-Star game, but the three-point contest is Sunday. Like, it's weird.
Isn't it all on Sunday?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not going to question things.
And no celebrity shut game.
No, I'm depressed about that.
I can't believe they're not even having a Rising Stars
I was
game.
hoping I'd be able to see Rachel Demita, but either way. Yeah, I don't understand the game here. Headlined by, your usual cast of suspects because we're afraid to vote in the actual All-Stars like Devin Booker and Domantas Sabonis.
Sabonis did get
and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, throw him out. Throw a shot out there.
I don't know. I don't know. This is clearly a money grab. Like,
no doubt.
This is about the worst, idea ever. I don't know. It's not like the NBA All-Star Game really gets me hyped up anyway, anymore. I usually only watch Saturday night for the three-point and dunk contests. But, look, I don't know. Like I said, it's usual cast, and it's not like they're bad. It's not like LeBron James and Kawhi are bad. It's not like Kevin Durant's bad. But, why the hell is James Harden at an East reserve? He literally has played 3 minutes in the East.
The only thing that comes to my mind when I hear about that, I think.
And by the way, they're retiring his jersey in Houston. I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing that comes to my mind, I remember Jeff Samardzija got traded from the Cubs to the A's right before the All-Star game, and
that was the day of the first day of the break, though. It's different.
Yeah. I don't know. They shouldn't be playing, but it's a money grab, and a big MLB guy, you know about money.
Manfred!
Yeah.
Damn it.
Just not a big fan of the New York Penn League, huh?
Not a big fan of baseball. Anyway, Nick. I think that wraps up the show for the day.
Yeah.
Who are you shouting out?
I got a celeb shout out and I got an actual person shout out.
Celeb shout out.
Yeah, shout out Todd Frazier.
Pittsburgh Pirate legend Todd Frazier.
Got 2 home runs and 2 games played. How about that? Shout out Todd Frazier. Not sure where he's going to play, but going to make the team.
He's going to play baseball.
And I'm going to shout out the South Seneca girls basketball coach, Charity Couch. Nice girl. I call her a girl. She's only 30, so she's a girl. But shout out Charity Couch, doing an awesome job with the team. Nice interview. I wrote a story on her, so pretty cool. Go Falcons.
Lady Falcons.
Lady Falcons.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff. We'll be back next week for sure with an episode of Fresh Takes with Russo and Felice. And everybody, please wear your masks still. We'll see you next week.